At the La Crosse Local Podcast, we like to talk about food and art. Today, we want to touch on the scarcity issues of food in the area. We chatted with Erin Waldhart, Executive Director of the WAFER Food Pantry. Erin talks about the challenges and successes of WAFER, from their dedicated staff, volunteers, and helpers to their continued outreach to those in need. I'm Amy, and he's Brent, and this is La Crosse Local.
So I am Erin Waldhart. I was born right here in La Crosse, born and raised. And what led me to my position with WAFER is after college, I started a job with a nonprofit. My husband and I were having our family. He's a teacher and was teaching about 45 minutes away. As a family, we decided that we would move to where he was teaching, and I quit my job at that nonprofit. Once we moved to our new community, was looking for just something small, and I found an ad for a food pantry for a volunteer coordinator, which was exactly the opposite of what they were looking for, really, is they needed a pantry manager. And so I thought, well, I can manage and coordinate volunteers, and one thing led to another, and I really felt that is my calling, that I feel like that's an area to our community with which I can use my skills and contribute to the betterment for everybody.
WAFER has been around a long time. What is the history of WAFER and what is its purpose?
So WAFER's been around, like you said, for a long time. The organization itself has been incorporated for 34 years. It existed prior to that as well, though. Initially, it was started as a joint effort between the Lutheran Campus Ministries and the Ron Colley Newman Center. Ended up moving the whole operation to St. Paul's Lutheran Church on West Avenue. And at that point, that's when WAFER got its name, the West Avenue Food Emergency Resource. In 2002, we moved to our current location on Causeway Boulevard. And during that move, that long explanation of the WAFER was dropped. So now it doesn't really stand for anything. Regarding the mission's work is really to just provide food to people and continue to work to eliminate hunger.
A lot more people are experiencing food shortages now with the way things are. Why is WAFER Food Pantry and its services so important for a community?
Oh boy, there's so many reasons why it's important. Well, first and foremost, we're important to make sure that people aren't going hungry. We have access and resources and capacity to be able to provide food to people that need it. Our resources come from every direction imaginable, which creates a really good, diverse food package for people. For people that kind of are living on that threshold between either like affording basic necessities, we're talking about shelter, utilities, transportation, medical care, other basic necessities, personal hygiene items, or things related to children. And what I tell people is, come to us, do your shopping here, and then what the money that you save in your grocery budget, apply that to the other areas of your life to make things a little bit easier for you. And with our different programs and services that we offer, specifically the mobile pantry and our senior share delivery program, we're actually taking our services out into the community because we've realized that that's a really big challenge for people, that transportation component or physical limitations that create barriers to getting to our building in order to use our services.
With the COVID-19, have you seen an increase in food insecurity in the La Crosse area? And have you seen people stepping up to aid in that need at all?
When I take a look at our demographics and who's coming in for services, the one thing that I noticed is that, like our regulars, they are just starting to come back, which has been a little bit weird. We assumed that they would be the crowd that would continue to come and then add on top the new folks that are needing help. What we've been getting is, oh, I didn't realize you were still open. We've never been closed a day. And I think people are just now realizing that we're still here and we can still be of help. So the change that I have seen, because I've been working, directly on the front line serving people, is that we've been seeing a lot of new families. So probably about a 50% increase in the number of new families coming to us monthly. And then the other thing that we've been seeing is people who haven't needed our services in a long time. So probably the average is 2 to 3 years, but I've seen it even up to 10 years are starting to come back. super excited that we've been working with the Coulee Region Immigrant Task Force, and we've gone to a couple of their distributions, so we've been able to reach that population, tell them about our services, and hopefully they will feel comfortable then after an interaction where they are comfortable would then lead to comfort in coming back to us and using our services here.
You talk about transportation being an issue. WAFER's vision talks about expanding aid to the children and the elderly. Kind of touched on that with transportation. How else is WAFER kind of expanding aid to those populations?
Well, one of our programs that we offer is with Bangor School District. It's an impactful program, but on our end, it's not super labor intensive. The program administrator at the school packs the bags, distributes it to the children that have been identified as food insecure on the weekends, at home, over holiday breaks. The other thing that people don't know about, and it's because I don't talk about it for fear of being overwhelmed by it, is that we do pack like snack bags on the mobile pantry, so that when the mobile pantry is in a neighborhood and kids are hungry and they're looking for something to eat and they approach the pantry, we're able to give them something to go. Another one for transportation is when the pandemic started, what we noticed was people calling and saying, I can't leave, I'm immune compromised, I'm elderly, at-risk folks. And we put a request out through You Get Connected for delivery drivers. And again, it's not something that we highly publicize because I feel like we would be overwhelmed, and we're kind of at that threshold of the breaking point right now. You have people call, and we go through all the options for them securing food. Like, do you have a friend or family member that can come and pick up for you? Do you have a social worker or a personal care worker? Those types of people that could come here and get it for them. If they don't, we have a list of people who are willing to provide deliveries to homes.
I've seen calls on your social media outlets to volunteer. How can people help?
Oh boy, there's so many ways. And I always talk about giving in a way that makes you feel good and giving your gifts. So for some people, they give money because they want to make sure that we're able to purchase the foods that we need and keep our doors open. There's people that they wanted to do something physically, and so they go to the store and they buy groceries and they drop it off. For some people, it's giving the gift of their time, and it's spending it here, working hard for us and doing whatever it is that we need to get done, helping serve people. You look beyond those things, and there's so many opportunities. It's spreading the word about our organization, reaching out to people who might be in need. Or, we've had people that, I'm a mask maker. Can you use any? Yes, that would be great. I just encourage people, what is it that makes you filled up when you give something to somebody else? Approach it in that direction. Yeah, we need volunteers, but not everybody is comfortable with that. And particularly with our tight space and the population that we serve and the amount of people that come to our building, a lot of people aren't comfortable with that. And while we have measures in place to keep people safe, or as much as possible, that has really affected the number of people that we have in our building daily to help us just function.
It sounds very accessible for someone who, like you said, maybe potentially could just give some time or a skill, kind of look at themselves and see what they can offer the organizations. Where can people find out more about the WAFER Food Pantry?
I'd encourage everybody to just head on over to our website at waferlacrosse.org. There's a lot of information about volunteering and services, history, our financial status, like all things WAFER on our website. There's also a new page just for the virus. So anything related to the virus, our operations, any change in services, any new events, like we have a couple new events that we've been working on, all of that is there. We kind of are, we're in a unique situation right now with the pandemic, and on top of that, the social injustices that are occurring, and the level of, I'm just going to call it hurt. The level of hurt that our country is feeling right now is pretty incredible. But I want to say that despite all of that, there's still a lot of good that's happening. I actually just stopped and paused and looked at the wonderful people that have continued to stand by this organization There's a core group of people that when the virus hit, they committed to staying. They committed to increasing what they offer, increasing their time, increasing their donations. There are moments where it almost brings me to tears. Now, I'm a tough lady and I don't cry easy, but I am very aware of the people that are standing with us and the great gift of themselves that they are giving. It's hard work. It's hard work physically. It's hard work emotionally. And yet they don't leave.
La Crosse Local Podcast is a production of River Travel Media. Do you have an interview idea you would like to share with us? Message us on Facebook at La Crosse Locals. Subscribe to the La Crosse Local Podcast on your favorite podcast app. If you like us, rate us 5 stars. We thank you for it.